The development of films and filmmaking would be essentially nothing without the innovations of one man, Georges Melies. In a time when film was hardly an art form, he dared to dream. Hello, and welcome to my channel. For many years, I have been fascinated by films and filmmaking, and am an aspiring filmmaker myself. For this, I decided that I wanted to honor the filmmakers and creatives that made the art form what it is. This is the first episode in a series I wanted to do on film directors. For those who don't know, these are the people that are behind all the creative decisions made in the creation of a movie. I am going to try and start from the beginning and work my way to the present to cover the full history of filmmaking. Some directors you may have heard of, and others maybe not. So, without further ado, let's get started. Before a language of film was developed, film was seen as nothing more than a passing fad instead of an art form. The Lumiere brothers were vital in inventing the film camera and projector as we would think of them today. Their device could film and project moving pictures that weren't blurry or overlaid. A revolutionary idea at the time. They called it a cinematograph. Hence the term cinema was coined. However, Auguste and Louis Lumiere were not filmmakers as we would think of them today. They were more engineers and scientists who first presented their invention at the Salon Indien du Grand Café in Paris in 1895. An amazing feat in technology that dazzled the masses all over the world. It is this that drives a local magician to become curious about its potential. Born on December 8th, 1861, he was the son of a shoe and boot manufacturer. At a young age, he loved the world of entertainment, in spite of his parents' wishes to take over the boot business. Attending Lycée Louis le Grand before getting a law degree at the Sorbonne, he eventually abandoned his law degree for entertainment. He eventually became interested in magic after seeing a show in London in 1888. He bought the theater Robert-Houdin in Paris to show off his magical illusions. However, a new form of entertainment was taking shape. After attending a Lumiere showing of the cinematograph, he wanted to buy one for himself, but the Lumiere brothers refused to sell one. No matter. He bought a theatrograph from Robert W. Paul, a British inventor, tinkering with it to his liking. Thus began his journey into the filmmaking arts. Melies was known to produce, direct, and star in most of his own films. His first being produced in 1896 with The Vanishing Lady. He showed it first at his own theater and creating the first movie theater. During his career, Melies created more than 500 films until stopping in 1913. Some of his most famous films include House of the Devil, The Four Troublesome Heads, and perhaps his most famous work, A Trip to the Moon. loosely based on the Jules Verne novel From the Earth to the Moon. It chronicles the adventures of a group of astronomers who built a giant cannon and shoot a shuttle with them inside at the moon to explore the lunar surface. Melies employed many of the same editing and camera tricks that filmmakers use today. He would often overlap film to make it seem like something is happening. Characters would often appear and reappear in frame. Giant sets allowed for wacky visuals like in The Astronomer's Dream. Melies had an eye for visual effects like no other of his time. In addition to many editing techniques, he was also known to be one of the first to give films color. He was the master of the medium. However, all of it was going to come crashing down. The Great War has begun. The war forced Georges to sell most of his films to be melted down for army investments. After the war, he was no longer the king of the industry he built. By 1923, he had burnt most of the stuff he used to make his films, including most of the negatives, and sold the theatre Robert-Houdin. He never produced another film again. However, in 1931, interest in his work began to drum up again. He was then presented the Chevalier de la Légion d'Honneur. This is the highest order of merit in France, for his contributions to the promotion of the cinema. For decades, scholars have pointed to Melies' work as the first to create the art of cinema. Melies went on to inspire many generations of filmmakers. It makes sense, being the first film director. He was the first to see cinema as a narrative and creative medium. He had a magician's knack which helped to propel him through history, inventing the first science fiction and fantasy films. Perhaps it's fitting that only an illusionist would see such a vision as he did. After all, aren't all filmmakers magicians? Thank you all for watching the video. If you made it this far and you want to see more in the future, I suggest subscribing to the channel. I'll try to keep a schedule with these and try to upload often. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.